Hi and welcome to my workshop. My name is Tomasz and you're watching Casual DIY channel. And in today's video I'm going to be upgrading my Longer Ray5 laser that has got 10-watt module to this absolute beast, 20-watt module with air assist. Let's get to it. Now for me, as I mentioned, I'm upgrading the module from 10 watts to 20 watts. However, if you actually don't have this laser machine, you can purchase that straight away with the 20-watt module. But if you're in the same boat as I am and thinking about upgrading to the 20-watt, there is a bit of a process of actually swapping the modules. So I'm going to take you step by step so you can see exactly what is happening and how to do it. However, if you just want to see what this 20-watt module is capable of doing, I'm going to leave a timestamp just somewhere below here so you can go straight away to that part of the video. Right, with that out of the way, let's start changing the module. So what do you actually get in the package? Obviously the module with air assist on it. New power brick. This plastic block, that is your new way of setting the focal point for the laser. But I'm going to show you that later on. New wires, new mounting plate, some limit switches, and the hardware to put everything together. Now the first thing I'm going to do is to remove the laser and the wiring as well. You can put these somewhere safe with the laser head, the 10 watts one, as with the 20 watt laser head, you've got a new set. On the back just here, you've got some bolts holding the laser head in place, so we need to remove those. And now we can take off the laser head itself. Okay, the next thing we need to do is to change the plate to this new plate, and I think this will be the biggest hassle to actually sort out. We need to take out these 3 bolts, change them for some new ones that are supplied, and yeah, so let's carry on. Let's take out these bolts. Now obviously you can take the whole thing off, that may be a little bit easier. However, I'm going to try to do it on the axis. We'll see how that's going to go. Don't lose all the parts, we're just changing the bolts themselves. So the nuts and the washers will stay. At this point, I just want to say a massive thank you to sponsors of today's video, which is Longer themselves. Thank you for providing the 20-watt module for testing and project work and for supporting the channel. And now we're going to put everything back in place with the new bolts that we got. Okay, it does take a bit of time and it is a little bit fiddly to do it this way. You're probably going to be better off if you take the axis off and just slide it in. However, I managed to do it. So I'm not sure which way would be actually quicker. It all depends on what you feel comfortable with doing. Right, so with everything put together, make sure it slides correctly. If it's not, if it's moving too hard, remember with the key you can adjust the tension just over here. So you've got the ability to adjust that. However, if it's sliding okay, now we're going to put the belt back on. So I'm going to release it from one side. And just secure the belt to its final position, making sure the tension is correct. Everything seems fine. Let's carry on to the next part. The next thing I'm going to tackle is to change the cables, okay? So to do that, we need to take off the screen. Now we need to remove the back. And we need to replace this cable with the one that we got with the whole setup. Okay, so as you can see, we've got a nice tangle spaghetti with wires here. So we've got one set of wires that we are not interested in. Okay, so don't look at that. We are interested only the wires that come off from the main cable. So we've got the y-axis, x-axis, and two more cables. One connection has got two wires in it, and one connection has got just the one wire. And that's what we're going to replace right now. So the easiest way to do it is, as you take one off, you put one in so you don't get lost within this, okay? There is this red substance here, you know, it keeps the thing all together so it's not going to wiggle itself out. You can just use a sharp knife to scorch it a little bit so it's easier to remove. But yeah, so we've got y-axis, so I'm looking for my y over here, and I've got it. It's just over here. I've got x over here, so I can swap these straight away. I'm going to take off the y. And I put it back in. Now the X. Just gently wiggle them out. And we've got the other two. The other two are already there on the old cable. So the one with two wires goes just over here. And now we are left with the single wire one. Okay, so it's just underneath there. I'm gonna take that out. There we go. That's the old cable gone now. Okay, so we've got the two wires left. One is X minus and the other one says PR on it, okay? On here, just over here, the board is actually marked, it's saying probe. So the PR is going just in here. And the very first slot is our X minus. Just check every single connection that everything sits correctly. So as you can see, it is a bit of a process to actually change everything out, but it's not too bad. Just take it slow and steady and you'll be absolutely fine. Now it's time to install the limit switches. So one of the switches needs to be on the y-axis, another one on the x-axis. Now the limit switches, they need to be at specific distances, okay? So the one that we're going to be installing on this part of the frame where the screen is, okay? Let's just put that in like so. I'm going to tighten it just a little bit, but still so I can actually move it about. This limit switch needs to be at 72 millimeters from the base here, okay? So I'm just going to get my ruler. I'm going to shift it over 72. And placing them in these specific places ensures that the laser module will actually not collide with the frame itself. I'm about there. So I'm going to tighten that up now. Right, the second limit switch needs to go on the x-axis. Underneath here, I've got the x-axis motor, and now the distance from the limit switch to this plate here needs to be at 33 millimeters. Again, I'm going to take my ruler. Well, nearly finished, guys. Now it's time to install the module itself on the x-axis. For that, I'm going to be using these star knobs that came with the setup, and you do need to put the washers on them first, okay? So let's just whack it in. And don't forget about these tiny screws that go on the back of the machine. Right then, now it's time to wire everything up. First of all, the limit switch on the y-axis. Next, we've got the Y motor and the x-axis limit switch. And the final two wires just go over here. This motor, the X motor, and to the laser module itself. Now with some cable ties, I'm just going to sort out my cables. Now, as I mentioned before, this laser module has got a built-in air assist just over here. It does have a nice bracket built in, as you can see, for the air hose. And to be absolutely honest with you, you're going to be using this laser, this module, mainly for cutting. And having an air assist and an air pump for this is a massive improvement to the quality. And I strongly suggest, if you do pick up this laser module, pick up the air assist, the air pump as well with it, as it will just make sense and it will improve the quality of your work immensely. So I'm just putting the hose in through and we're ready to go. And with some cable ties, I'm just going to secure the hose with the power cable so it's not in the way. As you've seen, swapping the module out is actually not the simplest and easiest thing to do. Now, it took me about 45 minutes, but that's messing around with the camera as well, so I'm pretty certain you can do it in half an hour quite easily, so it's not a massive problem. And as you can see, everything seems to be working just fine. Right then, we're now ready to use the machine. However, first of all, we need to establish the focal point, and for that we've got this black plastic piece that we need to put underneath the laser, lower it down to it, and our focal point will be set. The first test we're going to do is the cutting test, as I am super curious of what this machine can cut. Okay, let's talk about a few specs when it comes to this laser module. As I said, 20 watts, so plenty of power on board. The size of the laser spot is 0.08 by 0.1 millimeters. It does have a built-in air assist, which is very important if you want to use this laser for cutting. It will give you far better results. Thanks to the power of the module, you can actually tackle multicolor engraving on metal surfaces. So the high energy laser beam oxidizes the metal surface, which could be very, very interesting. The package comes with the X and Y axis limit switches. However, due to the size of the laser module plus installing the limit switches, you are actually making the working area a little bit smaller. So originally on the Ray5, 5 watts and 10 watts, your work surface is 400 millimeters by 400 millimeters. However, with this 20 watt modules, it goes down to 375 millimeters by 375 millimeters. So you need to be aware of that. And the maximum working speed for this module is 10,000 millimeters per minute. Right then, let's check out the results, but I think we can see straight away how powerful this laser really is. Check that out. Look at that. Let's see if I can, yeah, that's just coming out. No problems. How about this one? Yeah, look at that. 3mm plywood, no issues at all. At cutting even 400 millimeters per minute at 80% power. As you can see, no overburn, really nice clean cut. Well, I'm quite curious now. I want to try 6mm ply and we'll see how far we're gonna get. Okay, let's check out the results. I think they're quite good, guys. Let's have a look. Remember, this is 6mm ply. Dense ply, it's not basswood, anything like that. It's a proper plywood sheet. Right, let's have a look. Oh my God, this is amazing. So everything up to 300 is cut out in a single pass, 80% power, 300, 6mm ply, 400. Well, this is not going, guys. Let's have a look. Oh, it managed to scorch it on the back. However, it didn't go through. Well, tell you what, I think this is a fantastic performance. 6mm solid plywood, 300 millimeters per minute at 80% power. This is really good. Now let's have a look if the quality of engraving is as good as its ability to cut. Okay, let's have a look at the results of the engraving test. This is done again in 3mm ply. And as you can see, I've actually stopped engraving as it basically went through. Hope you can see that. All the engravings here are so deep, almost coming through, almost popping through. So the best ones at 40% from 3000 upwards. It's just such a powerful machine, and I hope you can see that the engraving over here just so deep. So definitely, if you're going to be using this for engraving, you need to tune in the power settings, as it is super powerful. Now it's time to take it to the test. 16mm pine board, that's 20mm ash, and 25mm pine board. Look at that. We'll check in how many passes this machine, this laser, will be able to cut through all of them. Check that out. 16mm pine board in 4 passes. And it's not scorched that badly either. No overburn on the other side. Nice and clean cut. 16mm pine board, only 4 passes. Not bad at all. Let's see how it's going to do with the 20mm ash board. After 20 passes, I have stopped, so I gave up. It's not gone through, as you can see. 20mm ash wood, which is hardwood, and it is very dense, as you can see. Let's try to break it. Right, I managed to break it, but as you can see, it's probably good 2 more millimeters or 3mm left in that. However, the charring is actually not too bad. But with 20 passes, that's definitely a no-go. Now I'm going to try something crazy, okay? 25mm pine board, which is more than the last one that we didn't manage to get through. However, this is pine, okay? It's not as dense and it's not as hard. Let's see if the laser will be able to cope with this. Okay, and this is exactly what I thought, guys. Less dense wood and it will go through with no problems at all. This is at 10 passes. 10 passes, 25mm pine board. Not much of a charring on the bottom, just slightly, just a little bit, but not too much. Fantastic result. I have never cut anything so thick with a laser of this type. 25mm pine board, 10 passes. Now it's time to try and engrave something on a piece of steel. Now check out this engraving on this metal plate. It's absolutely phenomenal. And I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it, but it actually does show different colors. So it seems to be true. Depending on what settings you're going to be using in your software, you may actually achieve different colors on your steel. Absolutely fantastic. As you've seen, the 20-watt laser module is definitely super capable, especially when you consider 6mm plywood. That is a fantastic result, I have to say. However, it's not definitely a magical machine, okay? Dense wood like ash, as I've showed you, 20mm, it will struggle. However, it probably will get up to 15mm without major problems. Now, with pine, 25mm, you know, that is really good going. So, all in all, I think it's a very capable machine. and 20 watts is delivering enough power to tackle most of your cutting needs. So if you are looking for a very powerful laser for cutting, I think this could be a very good choice. Now I hope today's video was helpful to you and informative. I am planning to do at least 1 or 2 more videos on this, as it is piquing my interest. The power is really quite awesome, and I'm just thinking about some future projects I can actually tackle with this machine. So if you don't want to miss those videos, make sure to subscribe to my channel, and if you enjoyed today's video, drop me that like button down below as well. Now I do have a lot of projects when it comes to lasers, but also projects around workshop, woodworking, DIY or general tinkering. If you're interested in those, I've got really cool playlists just over here. Go and click that, have a look what videos they are. Maybe something will pique your interest. So hopefully I'll see you on those videos there. Take care.